Welcome back to a strong, night-filled, and vengeful episode. Today, we are going to be talking about, or more so, revisiting The Batman 2022. Dun, 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 dun.
With the release of The Batman looming and rumors and speculations of who's going to be the next Batman in the DCU.
You forgot a lot of delays, too.
Oh, yeah, a lot of delays. We decided to take a little trip back in time to look at the Batman 2022.
3 years to be exact.
Batman films have been around for decades. Batman was perceived differently back in the Adam West days, you know?
For sure.
A campy, goofy kind of hero. He had his sidekick Robin, and, you know, they took down crime one pow, bam, at a time.
Splat!
Yeah.
And we can't forget the old shark repellent.
Then Tim Burton decided to take this into a gothic, kind of more serious type of role. Something we've never seen the Batman be. This would change within the comics and as well as future representation of the character. After Burton's reign, Joel Schumacher came in and had a few things to say. Some bat cards.
7 million.
Some bat butt, bat nipple.
Bat skates.
After a few years of hiatus from the Caped Crusader, we came back to reality with stuff, you know, like animated movies and more darker comics. With the revision of the Batman character, we got Batman Begins, and I believe 2006.
That more so brought life back into Batman, really. It really was more of a renaissance for Batman.
And with help of those, the Nolan trilogy as well as the Arkham games.
Great director, great games, and a great supporting cast for both of those pieces of media.
It kind of was, like you said, like there was a resurgence of the Batman. With the Nolan trilogy wrapping up and the Arkham games kind of coming to an end, there was a few years of nothingness.
There was also big shoes to fill.
There was.
After the Nolan trilogy, it was more a little daunting to see what is going to replace that, and could anything ever really top that?
We're here to see if that answer is found.
Yeah, will be solved. We're here to talk about the Batman the Batman 2022.
Part 1, technically.
Part one. But before we do that, if you don't want to get circle BBBBB, please like, comment, and subscribe, or else you will get beat like a Gotham goon.
Yeah.
We don't want that, folks. You don't want that.
You don't.
We don't want that.
No.
Gotham Health Insurance will not cover Batman incidents.
So, after being silent for those few years and getting movies like Lego, Batman, and just like one-offs like that, they decided they found a new director. It would be an Elseworld story, away from the DCEU at the time. They brought in director Matt Reeves.
Well, he made War for the Planet of the Apes and Dawn of the Planet of the Apes. 2 movies in the trilogy that's a really really well-rounded trilogy, I'd say.
With him being obviously brought in as the director, you know, you got to cast the Batman.
Yes, arguably maybe one of the hardest parts of making.
Gotta be the hardest part.
A Batman movie. When doing that, they casted Robert Pattinson, and that stirred some controversy online. I will say I was one of those fans that was a little skeptical. Prior to the trailer, everyone knew him as, that's the pretty boy from Twilight.
Oh yeah.
How is he gonna be my GOAT? How is he gonna convey Batman? Then, in I believe a Comic-Con, they showed the teaser trailer. That was enough for me to be like, you know what? I'm for it. Let's see how it goes.
Oh yeah. When the casting happened, I decided to go back and watch like some Robert Pattinson movies that have happened since Twilight, you know?
Right.
And one that stuck out to me by the Safdie brothers, the guys that did Uncut Gems, was a movie called Good Time, which I think is still one of his best performances. And I think he did really good in that movie. And that got me hyped. And, you know, we've talked about this before where even since the Heath Ledger casting, yes, we were younger, but even seeing that like kind of play out and the result of that, I'm not really judging anybody for doing a role until I see it.
I think naturally we have reservations on certain, you know, cast members getting casted and actors getting casted. But when you get proven wrong, it's a beautiful experience. It's a very beautiful experience.
With that Comic-Con trailer, hype built up. There was multiple other trailers that released, you know, following that up until the release of The Batman, which you and me actually went and saw together.
We saw it.
Yeah, we saw it in theaters. Opening day.
Right.
You know, we talked about Batman, which is, you know, Robert Pattinson, but there's also his supporting cast.
I think the supporting cast had some heavy hitters.
Yeah.
I mean, have some heavy hitters. You have Zoe Kravitz. I wasn't familiar with this guy's work, but I think he really killed it in this movie. Paul Dano. Colin Farrell. I mean, we know him as his best performance as Bullseye.
I want to fucking cost you.
Jeffrey Wright, I mean, he's been in some
good actor,
good actor. Andy Serkis, I mean, that's a name that everyone recognizes. And then we have John Turturro, good actor. I loved him in Transformers.
Yes, especially when he got pissed on by Bumblebee. Yeah. You know, you sit down, you watch Batman for the first time. What happens in the Batman? What is the plot of the Batman? The movie The Batman opens up with our first scene.
It does this little thing where it doesn't automatically start off showing you. It's more so you're seeing the villain already doing what he's doing.
Oh yeah, which for some, even me, I didn't know that was gonna be the Riddler first.
Me neither.
It was a guy looking through binoculars, and he's kind of stalking his prey. Basically, what he's doing. So you can hear the heavy breathes. You can hear the who we find out later to be the mayor playing with his kid on Halloween. It seems like.
Right.
Then cuts to the mayor looking at the TV of the race that's going on between him and Bella Royale.
Battle Royale.
Was the knight in shining?
I do like that scene where he turns off the TV and you already see Riddler right there.
Yeah, he moves out of the way, then the Riddler, good scene.
We'll get more of it too as the movie progresses, but you get really good moments of establishing that ominous factor. Last time we heard the Riddler, if you didn't play any games, would be Jim Carrey's Riddler.
Very goofy.
Jim Carrey clocks in. I mean, we love Jim Carrey here, but he's a very funny guy and he did his thing at that time, but it was more a product of its time.
For sure.
So it's I guess the Batman-fication or the making it more serious.
Oh yeah.
That's what they were doing here. This movie was inspired by Batman Year One and Batman The Long Halloween, which it has some elements of The Long Halloween, but more so Batman Year One. So after we see, the Riddler murdering the mayor, we cut to Robert Pattinson. 2 years of being this animal that hunts at night has taken a toll on me, but this city needs something. This city is so far gone, I don't know if I'm even having an effect here. So you have that self-doubt within him, but he's still doing what he can and what he deems right by being the Batman.
Come on, man. Let's be honest. 5 minutes in, and this Gotham is already established as a dirtier, scarier. It's almost a character of itself over the Nolan movies.
Exactly. On that, we talked about the previous directors of the Batman. We talked a little bit about their themes on how they made Gotham.
Yeah.
But it really more so breaks down to really this. Tim Burton, yes, he's known for the Gothic aesthetic. That's his whole that's his whole gimmick. That's his whole thing. He not to shit on the guy, but that's really all he does. So with that, we got a more Gothic Batman, more Gothic Gotham, which looks fine. Moving on to Christopher Nolan, he just did Chicago.
Yeah, that's
Chicago.
Yeah, that's what it was.
City.
Yeah.
Matt Reeves took it in a more, like you said, grimier, dirtier. It's constantly raining.
Oh yeah,
which adds to it. It adds to the ominous factor, but it's just grimy. You see what is a plague on society. Drop heads. They're looting. They're breaking banks.
Oh yeah,
they're doing everything. But within that, like he says, like Robert Pattinson says,
his monologue's still going on.
It's still going on that this city is plagued with diseases and I'm there too. What it really does wonderfully is adding that element of, there's a scene where a guy's spray painting like a pillar and then he drops the bottle of like spray paint. He doesn't go and get it, but you just cut to basically a black shadowy hallway and he doesn't know, because that's building onto the fact that I don't know if he could be there. I don't want to risk that.
Yeah, I'm good.
So it's just, even within the first probably 10-15 minutes, you're getting that really strong foundation that these criminals know of him and are already, very scared.
Yeah.
One drop head is robbing somebody and then he almost gets hit by a car and he sees the symbol. And even Batman says, it's not just a symbol, it's a warning. I think at that point, I was like, this is going to be a ride.
Oh yeah. So after his monologue and we see the different drop heads and just different people doing some random shit, we cut to a bunch of goons in a train.
Well, they're doing like initiation.
They
have like this like skull painted on them, but one of them, this young kid, only has half of it painted. And they're showing a video where the initiation is literally just going up to somebody and just socking them.
Yeah, great.
That's assault.
Yeah, buddy.
That's a fucking assault.
So then they follow this man off of the train for no particular reason. I guess is the initiation, like you said. They tell the guy with the half painted to get the full paint, basically beat his ass, and then
but even he hesitates. He doesn't really do anything. He's like, "What's wrong with you?" And then it's like 5 or 6 dudes.
What do you mean you don't want to assault somebody?
Just chasing one lonely guy, dude.
Gets a little quiet. Then
you hear the slow footsteps and then the score.
Yeah.
You know, that's something
slowly
that slowly builds up.
Yeah.
I believe it's Michael Giacchino.
I think so.
Really good. The music in this, rewatching
amazing.
it, is really well.
Amazing.
I think there's not a single part of the music that doesn't hit or adds to it. Even when, you know, he's doing his Batman stuff, even when he's Bruce Wayne, you hear that the score just adds to him reflecting on his choices and what he should be doing.
Then we get our first sight of the Batman, right? So after the monologue and after everything that's happened, setting up the world, he comes out of the shadows. He appears, the guy looks at him and he's like, who the hell are you supposed to be?
What the hell are you supposed to be?
So once he says that, he walks up to Batman. Batman says, oh, watch this.
He swings at him with the bat.
He sees the blue bolts above his head, you know, in the Arkham games.
Oh, yeah, he counters that.
Yeah, he counters it. I think he just immediately breaks his arm.
Yeah, he breaks his arm and
beats on him.
Goes down and beats on him more. It gives such an Arkham level feel.
Oh, yeah.
Where he's like slowly rising up and there's 4 other goons right there.
Oh, yeah.
And they're just terrified, but you know shit's about to go down. Especially those who played any of the Arkham games, you know that feeling where it's just, you're Batman, you know you can take out like 4 or 5 goons.
Oh, yeah.
Easily.
So then after he does his little counter, you know, he does the famous I'm vengeance. You don't get the traditional I'm Batman, you know, he's not there yet.
And that's a nice little play, yeah.
He's not there yet. So he's just I'm vengeance, which is a big theme of this movie. He proceeds to take care of the other guys, goes to a fight, uses gadgets, which are pretty cool, takes hits, takes shots, kind of falls. You can feel that humanity on him, like, okay, I'm still a guy, you know, like I still have to
for sure
punch, you know, I still have to do my thing. He eventually obviously defeats them. The guy is kind of left over with the half thing, looking at him. They kind of make eye contact. He runs off. Then Batman turns to the Asian man. Asian man's like, please don't hurt me. So that kind of gives off that no one really looks up to Batman as like a savior.
Not quite yet. It's more so this guy just beat up a bunch of guys. What's not to say that he's gonna beat on me?
Exactly. And he's very fucking scary looking. So, you know, scene concludes. We get a cut to Batman and Gordon. So they're walking into a crime scene.
Yes.
That crime scene happens to be our beginning scene in the beginning of the movie where the Riddler has murdered the mayor and his thumb is gone. So they investigate the crime scene. Batman walks in. They kind of like stop him, like, why the fuck is this guy here? He has no authority being here, but Gordon trusts him. Gordon kind of has like a relationship with him early on. And then that's why he's allowed to go into these places and kind of investigate, you know?
I like the relationship between Jim Gordon and Robert Pattinson. You know, I think it's really well. It's more so, this is the early years. They've been talking for 2 years. It's really well established, I'd say. But you still have that mistrust from the Gotham City police.
For sure.
Even after he gets the little note or the hint that a clue that Riddler left, he sees a kid. We know because we know who the Batman is, but he's more sympathetic to, hey, that was me. I lost my parents. He just lost his dad.
He feels like that connection, you know.
For sure.
After doing his little detective work, which is nice, we get to see Batman do actual detective work in this movie. So get that Nirvana starts playing, Something in the Way.
The song choice that they used adds to more like the grunginess of it. And once he gets to his Batcave, which is just like an abandoned subway, you know, system. Alfred, played by Andy Serkis. Which I'd say it's a different turn, you know. I like
Michael Caine.
I like Michael Caine as
very good,
you know, Alfred. That's perfect. But you get Andy Serkis telling him, hey, you know, you need to hurry up because we need to have dinner with some Wayne Enterprise execs. And he tells him, I don't have time for that. I don't care about that. But you get the seeds getting planted of Andy Serkis saying, well, you should, because this is your family's legacy.
For sure.
You're carrying this on to them, and Robert Pattinson says, what I'm doing now as the Batman, that's my family's legacy. So it's that duality of him being both Bruce Wayne and the Batman, but he's obviously prioritizing one over the other. But it's well made. It's well made.
With that point, like this movie, you do not see much of Bruce Wayne. He's not really there. You get a couple of scenes, but I think a majority of this movie, he is in that suit. That's who he is.
Obviously, we get more of Batman than Bruce Wayne. And I think it's kind of hard to mesh both of those two personalities together. In the Nolan movies, you get Christian Bale being Bruce Wayne, and he does it well in the sense that I own this restaurant. Let's move the tables together. You know, you get more of that fuckboy, that playboy, philanthropist.
I just don't think it would work yet. Like it wouldn't have worked. It would have been forced because this Batman obviously is a vengeful Batman. He is not like it makes total sense that he does not give a fuck about the Bruce Wayne persona.
And granted, this is his second year being Batman.
Exactly.
So and with that second year, we have someone that's actually making bigger moves. He's killing people that are in higher power, like the mayor.
Yeah.
It's not anymore just stopping lonely goons or thugs. No. It's the actual guy that's making, chess moves here. Yeah. And then he needs to actually stop. And not only is he doing that, but he's calling out the Batman.
So after speaking with Alfred and Batman or Bruce Wayne, I guess here, they kind of try to solve this detective work, right? They found some evidence in that riddle. They put it in a computer and it comes up as Alfred kind of deciphers it and it says drive. So that drive kind of leads him and Gordon to go to and investigate the mayor's cars. And they found in his car, thumb drive.
Yeah, I like that.
That's a good joke.
I think there's a level of comedy in this movie that it's light, but it's light. Still there,
So they use it.
Yeah, they use it. Jeffrey White uses his laptop, does it. And then you see pictures of two characters. Well, a side piece. Or a side character of the B plot of the movie.
Yeah, so you find the mayor with the blonde-haired girl, which turns out to be just like a mistress. And then you kind of go from there. He notices that is the Iceberg Lounge, which is a lounge in Gotham. It's a club.
And he also sees Penguin there, which leads him to the Iceberg Lounge.
Yep. So he goes into the Iceberg Lounge, which he's like, I'm here to see the Penguin. He's in all bat attire. Trying to walk into a club, and they're just like, huh? So it's one of a guy. He closes the door on him. He opens it up. It's twins, and he's like, get a load of this guy. You know who he is? And then Batman beats their ass, walks in, and then we get a fucking dope scene with like loud club music.
It's a really cool scene to see the Batman in like a EDM club.
Not giving a fuck about nothing, just
grimy scene. Just he's there to look for the Penguin. He didn't really have a plan. I mean, it's not more like isolating your target. It's more just you're going in there headstrong.
This Batman doesn't have much of a plan. He goes in there, which is probably an early sign of year 2 Batman. Not really.
Yeah, he's not fully refined as he would be like in an Arkham game or whatever. Of course. But he's just going in there.
He is going in there.
He has a plan of attack.
It's
to attack.
Yeah. He beats a bunch of people's ass. He's in a standoff with a guy with a gun, and he's like, hey. And then he has a bat, and then he looks at him, and he just throws the bat at his nose.
And it breaks his fucking nose. Yeah, dude.
Then he puts a fucking grapple hook through someone's leg.
Yeah, and it happens really fast, really quick, but you just see it for a second that it goes through his leg, and then you see a character waddling by, and it's Colin Farrell.
It is, yeah.
I mean, everyone knows. Clearly, he did such a good job that they made a spin-off show.
Which is, I think it's an
Emmy winner.
Yeah,
it's an Emmy winner.
Yeah.
But the accent that he does really well. That
whoa, take it easy, sweetheart.
Hey, sweetheart. that grimy accent. That it's like a swindler.
Yeah.
And anytime you talk to this guy, you just know that you're gonna get swindled one way or another. Yeah. Batman goes to interrogate the Penguin.
Yeah, he asks him about the photos.
Yeah, and he says, gee, Bats, I don't know who that is. I just happened to be leaving with them, but I wasn't rolling with them.
He grabs him, puts him against the glass.
Damn near breaks. It shatters.
Oh, yeah. He doesn't fuck around. Yeah.
Then you're introduced to Zoe Kravitz's character.
Zoe Kravitz comes in. She stops for a second. She like, what the fuck is going on here? She leaves. He notices the boots in the picture are also like the same boots, so he follows her home. Interesting scene in my opinion, and I think this is what is very interesting, the duality of the Riddler and the Batman.
Exactly. They're both like stalking they're both stalking people, but with different, I guess, outcomes or wanting to different things.
Yeah. So, he gets the binoculars. We get a very similar scene like in the beginning of the movie of him looking at Catwoman and what she's doing.
And mind you, it's pouring down.
Oh, yeah, it's raining. Yeah. And then we see Catwoman and her roommate, which is the girl in the photo, the mistress.
Yep.
Catwoman sees something's going on, asks her if she's okay and stuff, because the photos have gotten out at this point. When Gordon and Batman did the thumb drive, it had an automatic backdoor to where it would get uploaded.
Every news station.
Everyone.
Every news station, yeah.
When that happened, Catwoman kind of suits up in a really weird shot of Batman watching her undress and stuff, but she gets into her Catwoman attire. We get a nice little musical ding. Like, I don't know if you know
like a little musical cue. Yeah.
So
she also she leaves her apartment in a very acrobatic way.
She does.
It's more so like, she's Catwoman in case you didn't know.
So she's now at an area working on a lockpick, and we later find out in that case is a passport for the girl.
Yes.
She's trying to help her roommate get up out of there because obviously she's gonna get hunted. As she's opening up, we get you're good at that. As soon as she opens it, you're like, he's just chilling there watching her.
They just she starts throwing kicks at him.
Yeah, they start fighting. It's a really cool, like, she's like moving like a feline.
Exactly.
He's like kind of moving
more bulky, more heavier, like a tank. But obviously the duality of both of their
cool.
Their fighting styles too.
Yeah, they stop fighting. He grabs her, he kind of puts her on the table, and then asks her, "What are you doing here?" She explains the passport situation. They hear somebody coming. He grabs her, kind of silences her.
A little sexual.
There's sexual tension.
A little bit.
There's another scene later on too that's like, okay. Then they realize, okay, let's go back to your apartment. They go back. It's been broken into. Her roommate is gone. So once they find out the roommate is gone, they just kind of like figure out how they can work together. As that's happening, her TV's TV's on and the news station shows that the commissioner has a big fucking rat trap on his head.
Very crazy. Yeah. What a way to kill somebody. Death by rats.
Yep.
But like you said, I think Paul Dano does really good at being more like menacing, more ominous, more scary, just unhinged even. So after they see the execution by rat of the commissioner, Jim Gordon and Batman go to see the body, and that's where we get another clue of bring the rat to the light.
Yep.
That more so plants the seed that, hey, there's a snitch. The Riddler wants, people or the government to bring the rat out and expose the truth. That's essentially what he wants.
Exactly. That's the Riddler's whole thing, is like, I'm exposing people for being corrupt, for being like just taking their position of power and abusing it.
In his eyes, he's doing it for the people.
Yeah. Batman and Catwoman kind of team up here. Basically, Batman tells Catwoman, here's some camera eye goggle thingies. Yeah. So go into the Iceberg Lounge, because she brings up to him that Iceberg Lounge isn't the only club there.
It's just a front.
It's a front. Yeah. There's a whole club below where everybody goes to, which is the corrupt guys.
It's called 44 Below.
44 Below. They have a moment where like he's putting the camera in her eye and it gets quiet and he goes like, hold still, and he's like looking into her eyes and they're like, it's like she's anticipating like more.
Like they're gonna kiss, and he's like, okay, they look good.
And he's just focused on the mission. She kind of realizes, I feel like in that moment, that like he doesn't fuck around. Like this is he has his thing and he's going for it. So he watches her as she goes into that club. She runs into the guy that he threw the bat at earlier, which turns out to be an undercover cop or a cop.
Yeah,
corrupt cop,
a narcotics cop. Yeah.
So she goes into the club. He's asking her, you got to maintain more eye contact with these people so I can get their names fully and
identify
stuff.
them. Yeah.
She walks past a guy, which we later find out to be Coulson or Gilbert Coulson or something like that.
Yeah.
So
and he happens to be the DA.
He's the DA.
Yes.
She looks at him and he's like, no, I need you to look at her longer. And she's like, no, because he's gonna want to call me over.
The old cat calling.
Yeah. So that happens, and then she goes and talks to him, and then he's just kind of like, he's off the drops. He is off the drops.
Yeah. One funny scene that I made a note of is he's there in his little booth or whatever, and he's like, I like this girl.
Yeah.
The Riddler's being really crazy. He's just messing everything up. Like it happens just like that, and that's one of the things that it's hilarious because he's like, I really love this girl,
and the reality
we're fucking cooked.
Yeah, he's basically saying how there's a rat, and this rat is kind of the cause for everything.
Yeah, and then when him saying that, his other buddies are like, hey, well, stop talking, stop talking.
Grab him by the shirt. Hey.
Yeah. And at that point, one of the other, I guess, bar girls says, oh, let's not talk about this. This is, we're gonna end up like that one girl that got, taken away. And
Catwoman goes, huh?
She's like, what do you know about that?
Yeah.
She literally says it like that.
Yeah, she presses her about it.
So she's like, oh, I'm gonna go get another drink. And then Catwoman follows her and she's like, oh, like, stop spewing madness. I don't want to get, taken. Batman gets a little upset because he's there, obviously, for his mission, but Catwoman has a different motive to finding her, like, her friend. Catwoman goes and then she sees John Turturro's character.
The Mr. Falcone.
Mr. Falcone.
Yeah, and he kind of does this weird, like, kind of,
well, he is like, hey, sweetheart, don't be a stranger.
Yeah, and he, like, starts touching her and stuff, and it's like, come on, man.
It's a little weird.
Once Catwoman saw Falcone, she kind of, like,
freaked out a
little bit, ran into the bathroom, was like, I told you I didn't want to do this, it's too much. She takes the thing out, her and Batman's communication cuts. It then cuts to them in the outside of the club.
Which is really funny because the DA is like, oh, hey, do you need a ride?
Yeah, the DA's talking like Selena,
She's like, no, I'm good.
Yeah.
She's like, okay then, my ride's right over there.
Yeah, she took one look at that car and was like, I'm good, buddy. Yeah, I'm good. Which is great choice by Selena. When he says that and points out his car, it cuts to in his car and you see the Riddler like,
yeah, you see him a little bit. You see the silhouette of it, yeah.
So he goes into his car, he looks down at his car seat and he sees one of the headdresses removed. And he's like, what the hell? Boom.
Like a bag over
his head, yeah. And the Riddler starts
which adds more to the fucking
creepiness.
Like, horror. It's fucking horrifying. It like zooms out and it gets really blurry, but you see something like a blinking light.
Yeah, he's putting like a collar on.
We don't know it yet, but it's he puts something onto him and it's blinking.
Very good shot.
Yeah, very good shot.
And then we get the funeral scene.
I think that's when the Gotham City thinks of Bruce Wayne.
Yeah.
Because they make such like a crazy scene of like, that's Bruce Wayne! That's Bruce Wayne! And it's just it's crazy because as he's getting out of his sports car, he sees a pair of boots that are reminiscent to Selena Kyle's and even the mistress's boots. He's going up. He's moving really fast to get to there, and then he gets stopped by a bodyguard like, whoa, 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 and then Falcone says, hey, easy guys, that's the Prince of Gotham right there. Essentially, they talk a little bit more.
You get a little backstory on his dad and Falcone.
Yes, he says, oh, this kid, his dad stitched me up one night. I got shot in the chest right here. Couldn't go to no hospital, but I showed up to his door and he helped me. They're sparring almost.
Yeah,
where Falcone says, oh, why do you think your dad did that? You know, and Bruce Wayne says, well, he took the Hippocratic Oath. And then he just finds that hilarious because he knows that Bruce Wayne doesn't really know what's going on or what happened in the shadows all those years ago.
Good to know too that girl in the boots was just a random girl. It wasn't Selena.
Yeah, it wasn't her, but it's just that little. It's also planting seeds.
So while they're having a conversation, they start hearing a. Yeah, like everyone's at this point noticing like something's wrong. So they move. He looks up. He sees a silhouette of a guy just standing looking at. Yeah. He immediately looks at the kid as the car's coming in through the fucking front of the church. He runs, grabs the kid, gets him out the way. Which I don't think he would have got hit anyways. But
it's a nice
instinct.
Moment.
Yeah. So once they do that, cops around like, get out the fucking car.
So, and it's funny because one hand he has a phone on him, and the other one he barely has his hand open. He's like, and his mouth is duct taped shut.
They evacuate everyone. They have like a bomb squad watching them sit there. Yeah. And then Batman kind of comes out the shadows again and answers the phone.
It's ominous, you know, because you see him there and he says, okay, I will let you live if you answer 3 riddles. I always loved riddles as a kid. It was the one place where I found peace and I liked riddles. So we're going to play, a couple of riddles for you. And you get really good riddles in the sense of like, okay, what's the price of your blind eye? How much? And, it's really good because you always get this even in the Arkham games where every riddle that the Riddler spits out, Batman knows the answer to.
Yeah.
So the guy's freaking out. The DA is freaking out. And it's really hilarious because the Riddler says, don't lose your head over this. Well, having a bomb onto him.
The riddles are basically just like, you guys are corrupt. How much do you get paid? What is your fee? Like what keeps y'all's mouths shut? Then we get to the last question, which is probably the most interesting one. He's like, who is the rat? DA is basically like, I'm not answering this because if I do,
I'm dead already.
I'm already going to be dead anyways. And then they're going to get my family. So at least if I don't say it, at least my family's safe. That's his thought process. They go back and forth. They're screaming. Riddler's yelling. Batman's like, just fucking tell me. And then he blows up. Boom. Batman gets fucking flown back.
Fade to black.
He wakes up in police station. He's kind of hazy. They're kind of messing with his mask, looking at his eyes like, you know what? Let's just take his fucking mask off. As soon as he feels a tug on his fucking thing, this is what I felt like was an Arkham moment. He's like, he gets up and he kind of like
he does a little bad and then he's like, okay, all right, let's go.
Which is a really good shot of him just in a room full of fucking cops.
Shots, yeah.
And then they basically tell him like, Gordon, get your guy. Like, tell him to calm down. So they go and have a separate conversation. Gordon's basically telling him like what's going on? And Batman's like, man, I see some of your guys that were in the club. Like, you need to watch it. These guys are corrupt.
Well, like the guy with the broken nose showed us like, hey, what's going on? What's going on?
Gordon basically is like, obviously I'm going to side with you, Batman. So, they're doing like a fake, like real talk. But he's like, and just hit me.
Just whispering to each other. And he's like, take this key and then go to the rooftop. We got to get you out of here.
Yeah.
It's funny.
It is funny.
It's a little funny just seeing Batman just run around the hallways like, I got to get out of here. But it's like, he has to go away. The fucking police officers are opening firing in the police department.
Oh, yeah.
There's people, just average Joes just working.
Even when he grapples up and they just go,
it's like, that's crazy.
That's stupid.
They don't really care. But you get a really good moment of him being human and more so just really showing that, holy fuck, I'm so new to this. Because once he gets to the top of the building, he looks down and he's like, he literally gasps because of he didn't really anticipate how fucking high this building was going to be. But the police are after him. They're closing in on him.
They surround him.
Yeah, so he does a little thing. He makes his little suit into like a wingsuit and then just glides.
Which is badass.
It's a funny, cool scene. And it's also like they have the POV, so it's looking out at him like this while he's like gliding through it. And you could tell, I think, and we've talked about this before, hopefully within this trilogy or maybe even in part 2, that we could see him actually glide with
That'd be really cool,
But this was kind of more like, okay,
he's not there yet.
He's not there yet because even he crash lands onto the fucking the side of the bus and into like a couple of trash cans.
So Gordon and Batman meet up at their little spot. They eventually go back and forth to figure out that they know where the drop head stash house is. Batman is up top with Gordon looking down. He's like, we got a fucking problem. Catwoman's here. Why is she here? So he goes and approaches Catwoman. He's like, why are you here? They're looking at the back of a car. She's looking for the money.
Yeah, she's taking the money.
She's taking the money. Yeah, she's, I'm gonna get something out of this. They open the next body bag. It's her friend. They have killed her friend, and she kind of has a gas moment. And then boom, bullets rain on them. Penguin notices they're there, and Batman gets hit. He falls on the ground.
They're shooting him, and then they're getting ready to more so finish the job, and then he's not there anymore. Catwoman does this thing where she steals like 2 bags of cash, kicks some guy, and just drives off. So she gets out of there.
She gets out of there
safely, scot-free. And Jim Gordon's also there, so he pulls up. He's just doing cover fire.
And then
peak cinema. You hear the roar of an engine slowly rising with the volume of it, and I think even Matt Reeves knew he was cooking because
the sound design
is crazy, and you see the Batmobile, which it's not your typical Batmobile.
You know, a chase ensues between Colin Farrell and the Batman, which is all over the trailers. And, you know,
the money shot.
The money shot.
It's the money shot.
I think you get a pretty decent chase. Like, Batman's weaving through cars, in and out of traffic. He's bumping into shit. I like how this doesn't cut to, like, anything else, like, going on. It's just Batman there, and Penguin. Yeah. You know, you get that, like, once again, the money shot of Batman just, like, slowly. And I like how the music wasn't too loud like it was in the trailer. It was more, like, kind of down. It was just, like...
Exactly.
He was just, like, walking towards the fucking car.
And the whole time, for our point of view, it's upside down because Colin Farrell's character is upside down, you know?
Gordon and Batman then have Penguin in cuffs. They're basically questioning him, like, what the fuck does El Rada mean or whatever, right?
Yeah, Rada Alada.
Yeah, El Rada Alada. And then he goes, what? That's not even proper Spanish. And he fixes it for him. And he's like, maybe it's a bat. A rat with wings is a bat. And then Batman and Gordon just like, really? So then they pull out a computer. They type in the code or the clue, basically. They get in direct, like, one-on-one, kind of like a Xbox party chat with with the Riddler. So, and they find out their next clue is at an orphanage.
Right.
Which is
a crazy turn because this orphanage was the old Wayne Manor.
Yes. So they go there. They run into a bunch of drop heads that are, like, kind of living there.
Yeah, it's just fucking drop heads doing drop head things.
They end up going inside the room with a projector. The projector is showing the Wayne family and all their kind of mishaps.
Yeah, Thomas Wayne is very corrupt. We see that. But a little crazy thing that they do, and I don't really know what the ramifications are going to be about this, but they changed it that Martha, her last name is Arkham, which are the people that made Arkham Asylum and that whole estate, which in there you find out that she was also an attendee there. Yeah. So she wasn't fully there either. She was just like insane.
Once they find that out, Gordon kind of goes like, holy shit, he's going after Bruce. And he turns and Batman's already gone.
The classic Batman thing of, where'd he go?
Where'd he go? So Batman's like hauling ass. He's calling Wayne Manor and he's just like, I'm trying to reach because I have people there. I need to be careful because Alfred.
Right.
Then we get a scene of Alfred opening up a thing and it explodes. Once it explodes, the maid opens the phone kind of nonchalantly and you're just like, what's going on?
She's like, oh, Mr. Wayne, I've been trying to contact you for hours now.
It's already happened.
And he's like, oh, no, Dory, something's going to happen.
Something's going to happen, yeah.
I like that. The little misdirect
shot great.
Us as the viewer watching it, you're thinking, okay, well, this is happening in real time. Yeah. And then she says, well, no, that happened an hour ago.
Exactly. And that's great editing. That's just a great choice. And, you know, Batman gets there and he's like, what the fuck? And then he kind of puts in the more information on the news gets revealed. And Riddler put out the information about Martha and about Thomas. And he's just kind of there sitting looking at the computer with the fucking eyeshadow and he looks emo. So that all happens. And then Alfred gets put in the hospital. We don't know if he's like going to make it or not. He's just in the hospital.
With a breathing mask on him and everything. He's just there.
Yep. So then we get a scene of back in the Batman's bat symbol area. Selina, Kyle, and Batman are kind of talking. And then Selina's just basically saying like, man, fuck these rich assholes. Like, let's take them down. Like, who cares? Like, fuck them. They get into it. They go loud back and forth. And Selina just screams like, Falcone's my father.
Yeah, well, she's like, oh, he owes me something. And Batman's like, well, what does he owe you? Why do you keep saying that he owes you something? And then that's when you get that revelation that she is Falcone's daughter and that Selina's mom used to work at 44 Below.
Yep. Selina looks at him. They have a kiss, finally.
They do. Here's my hot take.
Oh, okay.
I don't think it was rushed. Oh, okay. I don't think it's necessarily bad. I just think I haven't seen every Batman movie to ever exist.
Yeah.
Right? But I think that it's pretty hard to establish those characters in one movie. I think that maybe the Batman and Catwoman's relationship is best shown when it's already established.
Okay.
And maybe we can get like flashbacks of their early days.
Okay.
I think that might be the best way to go. I mean, like even in the Arkham games, it's already somewhat pre-established and they're just like flirting and everything. But this isn't bad. I think for me, when I first saw it, I was like, okay, well, they kind of kissed really fast.
I get where you're coming from. I think the reason Catwoman is kind of enamored by him early on faster is because I think people just don't know who he is yet. They haven't figured out what is he on like Selina's side. Will he like stand up to these assholes and stuff? They don't really get like he's just a guy that no matter what will take down people that are not good, but he will not kill, and he has morals, and he will stand on it. You know, he will die for what he believes in. Martha was put into Arkham, and he kind of goes crazy. He's just like, what the fuck? So we get that a similar shot of him outside the Iceberg Lounge, but this time as Bruce Wayne. Rain pouring down. He sees the twins, and they're like, holy shit, Bruce Wayne's at our door. What the fuck? I need to see Falcone. And he looks like depressed, like someone just killed his whole life. But he talks to Falcone. He just wants to know, is this true? Was my dad corrupt? So basically what Falcone tells him is like, he wouldn't have won
the mayorship
if Falcone didn't take care of somebody for him, basically.
Yeah.
And Thomas ordered it and wanted it to happen, but he knew his father couldn't do it, so he did it for him, type of deal, stuff like that. That breaks Bruce Wayne. And what I enjoy is like immediately, it's not like delusion. Bruce Wayne's like, I'm gonna go sit down and talk to Alfred about this, be by his side. Alfred wakes up from his like kind of coma or where is that, and he kind of tells Bruce that that's not true.
Right.
Your father wanted to do things the right way. He didn't want to take a shortcut to win. Falcone didn't see it that way. Falcone was like, man, I'll take care of him. You can win easier. I'll take care of him for you. You don't have to tell me nothing.
Right.
Thomas did not approve of that. He didn't like that. He threatened to go to the police. That very night, Thomas and Martha were dead.
And you get a good scene that even Andy Serkis was like, look, I taught you how to fight, but I wasn't really there to like console you. You were just a boy who lost his parents. Your whole world got shattered. There's only so much that I can do.
And then as they're talking, boom, the bat symbol appears. Batman goes, Gordon pulls up same time. They're looking at each other like,
yeah, I thought you did it.
Yeah, I thought you did it. They see that Selina's there with the guy that has his nose broken, the cop. And then Selina's basically saying like, they know the rat. They know who the rat is and stuff. I know it. He killed her. They know who killed my friend. Here's the voice recording.
And that's such a like, it's like a stomach turning.
Yeah. It's Falcone basically strangling her and killing her. Kinsey is the cop's name. Kinsey basically says, we weren't protecting anybody. Like, we worked for Falcone. He's the rat. He's the rat. He wanted to get Maroni out of there from the drops business. So he basically set him up and got Maroni, which is another crime boss. So got him out of there. So Selina is basically like, I'm going to go confront him. I'm going to take care of this. She escapes and she kind of throws Kinsey off the cliff to distract Gordon and Batman, who save him. Batman's like, okay, I got to go stop Catwoman. So they go back to the club.
Doesn't he show up in like regular, like he has his outfit with him?
Yeah, so Batman shows up in like a bomber and that kind of does a cool little ba.
Yeah, he like knocks things out, then he turns off the light and she's like, oh, fuck, let me get my
I gotta put my suit on.
And then he puts everything on.
Yeah.
By that point, Selina is confronting Falcone and says, oh, you don't know who I am. And in almost like a, well, how about now? She like takes her wig off and says like, you murdered my mother.
Yep.
Right before she's about to get the shot in, that's when Batman turns off the lights and puts the suit on.
She misses. Yeah,
she misses, which is it's a whole deal. Yeah. Once the lights come back on, he basically has her in the same situation that her mother was in. He's choking the life out of her.
He basically tries to kill her. Batman comes in last minute, hits him, gets him off, and then Selina wants to shoot him, and then he basically tells her, takes the gun, he's like, just no, because you will be like him. Don't take that step.
Which is it's a good trope, and it's like an overused trope, but it plays really well coming from the Batman, where I think that's another moment where he's having that revelation of, okay, I need to become something better.
Yeah.
You know, I can't be doing it like this. He's taking Falcone out onto the street. The cops are coming in and Falcone's just just laughing at him like, oh, well, I have half of these guys in my pocket, so I'm going to be out anytime soon.
Yeah, and then like Penguin confronts him. He's like, you were a rat? And then Falcone's like, no. And then Falcone basically was just, I think Falcone just straight up was like, man, fuck you. You wouldn't have a job without me.
Yeah.
And then the Penguin,
he's like, what? What'd you say?
Which is stupid. Like, there's cops right there.
And then like right as he's reaching for his piece, you just hear like a gunshot. Boom, and then it hits right at the little street lamp and Falcone gets hit. Yep. He's on the floor. The Batman's just looking at him. And it's one of those things where it's like a show don't tell. It's Falcone looking up at Bruce Wayne yet again, and not a single word of dialogue is exchanged, but you kind of see a little like a light bulb turned on to him. As his life is fading away, he kind of sees like, holy shit, that might be Bruce Wayne. The cops and Batman go to where the sniper was shot at, which happens to be a disgusting, horrible place of the Riddler's lair.
It's disgusting, and it turns out he was living across the street the whole time. So
the whole time he was doing that.
And then they as they're searching through to his place. They're just like, they pick up on police chatter. They're like, hey, they got a guy at a coffee shop that's like kind of fitting the description.
Yes, yeah.
So they go, they arrest him. We get the first shot of Paul Dano in the whole movie. Like the first unmasked version of him. They slam his head into the ground and he's like laughing while looking at Batman. And Batman's cool. He's just like looking through the window. It's raining.
It's raining yet again.
Yeah.
It's raining yet again.
And then it kind of pans up to his coffee and it's like a question mark.
Question mark, yeah.
So that's pretty cool. Then we cut to
like a mega cell, I'd say. I don't think it's Arkham Asylum.
I don't think so, but Riddler asked specifically, I want to speak to the Batman. So Batman goes, talks to him, and goes, and then the thing opens and they're looking at each other. And then Riddler is almost taken aback, like, damn, this is you in the flesh. Like, holy shit.
Yeah,
like
he's a little starstruck.
He is.
You know.
And then you kind of start getting this nice little monologue. Batman doesn't say anything. Like
he's silent throughout the whole time.
There's like a minute where he doesn't say shit. And then basically what the Riddler goes off about is like, he starts Bruce Wayne. And then the audience is like, damn,
you have a moment and even Batman's like,
damn, he knows.
Yeah, like, does he know? It's basically like, oh, well, I'm an orphan. I get, I'm barely making it by. I'm an outcast in society. But Bruce Wayne, he's an orphan and he's living in his ivory tower, you know, looking down on us people in the city of Gotham.
And then he ends that off with, he's the one we didn't get. And then boom, that's the realization. Batman has like, okay, he doesn't know who I am.
Exactly.
So let me clock in. What do you mean? Like, what is your plan? Like, what's going on? And then Riddler's like, what?
He almost has like, it's like a don't meet your heroes type of moment.
Yeah, it's like the Incredibles.
You're a fucking chud. What do you mean you don't know what I was doing? It's right there.
Batman's not picking up on what I'm putting down. So
we were supposed to build this city together, make it better, right?
Yeah, and he even like kind of disses him. He's like, "You didn't figure it out? Like, are you stupid, like, Batman?
You're pathetic for not figuring it out.
Yeah, you're supposed to be a detective. Like, so he's basically just like, what the Riddler thought was Batman was helping him take down these people in a sense.
Right.
He thought they were both on the same side of like, fuck these politicians, fuck these corrupt individuals. We're taking them down together.
Yeah, like being a vigilante, doing things on your own way.
We were supposed to watch it together, and he's like, what?
Yeah.
And then he starts banging the glass. Like, what are you talking about?
Right. It just sings off, and then Batman leaves.
Batman leaves back to his apartment to kind of figure out this thing.
Because he feels like he's obviously missing something. Right.
So while he's there, he realizes, man, this floor is interesting. And he's talking about that tool. And the Officer Martinez tells him,
used to kill the mayor.
That was in the beginning scene of the movie. That tool was used to beat the mayor over the head. And that's a carpet tool. And once he says that, Batman's like, huh. And he opens his carpet, and it's like a big map.
Right.
And so while he does that, there's also a computer he realizes where it shows like the Riddler being like normal, like a live streamer.
Well, that's another funny part, because we've seen the Riddler up until this point being like,
scary,
you do not lie to us, right? Yeah. And then it's just him in his outfit. He's like, hey guys, thank you so much for the support.
Thanks for the bits.
And even like the chat is like, hey guys, if you want to pick up the mask, I found it here. Go here.
Yeah.
And it's just like, well, thank you guys. With this support, we really reach our sub goal.
Yeah.
Thank you guys, so it's funny seeing him like that.
And then you start seeing the chat talking about getting ammunition and stuff for the arena, which is where this Mayor Royale is holding her basically acceptance speech type of deal. So they're all talking about meeting there, and then Batman's like, oh fuck. Once he does that and realizes the map on the floor, bridges and stuff start exploding.
Yeah, because on the map, every basically entry point that prevents the water coming in has a light, an LED lighting up.
Yeah.
So that he kind of pieces it together that he's using that he's gonna bomb it.
Yeah.
And basically flood fucking
And that's
Gotham.
what happens. It blows up, but Gotham gets flooded. And then Riddler's like sitting there laughing as it's happening.
Boom!
Yeah. So that happens, and then Batman goes to heads his way to the arena.
Now we're in the final act.
Final act
of the movie, yeah. And then another little perfect moment, another Arkham-esque like scene that's ripped straight from the games. The skylight that is all glass just breaks in unison, and then he just falls down the cape and everything.
Really cool.
And he's just there. He's there to fuck shit up. They have these like hunter rifles and everything, so he's taking those. It still hurts him obviously, but there's a lot of goons. He's doing his best to try to stay up, because obviously he's on the top of the stadium. He's just fell down. It isn't until one guy gets like a fucking hunting shotgun, which that's gonna knock down anybody regardless of how much fucking armor you got.
He gets shot with the shotgun. He falls off the cliff. He's kind of hanging on. He's like, I might be cooked here.
Yeah.
Selena saves him at the last moment, pulls him up, and they're like kind of have a moment of like looking at each other and like, thank you. And then Selena gets fucking ripped off of him and then starts like choked. And then Batman, he can't move. He just got fucked up.
He just got a shotgun to the chest.
So he pops an opening in his leg. He has adrenaline. He pops himself.
A little theory that I saw, and I'm not sure if you're aware of this, but there were speculations that they were saying that that's Venom. I don't know if they confirmed that, but
that would make sense.
Could be cool. But he used that, and then he
takes the guy off.
Straight beats him to a pulp.
Yeah,
like his face literally looks like fucking pulp.
And after he beats the fuck out of him, they have to stop him. Catwoman and Gordon are just like, hey, stop! And he like kind of turns around and looks at them, and he's like still has that rage and like adrenaline. Right. Once they do that, they take his mask off, and Gordon's just like, who are you? And he's laughing. He's like, I'm vengeance. And then Batman, he's like, they're like looking directly at each other, and it's like that's that moment I think Batman realizes like
I can't do the way that I'm doing this is going the wrong way. Just pure hatred, just anger, and just rageful.
Yeah, because your first sign was Riddler thinking you worked with me.
Right.
After that, he realizes the mayor, the kid from the beginning, which has been going through everything, and a bunch of other innocent people are in the water, and it's flooded.
Yeah, because at this point, everything's getting flooded.
Yeah. So Batman goes on a rope, and he like basically this is his moment of like kind of being baptized into transforming, right?
Right.
With the blue and red lights flickering, he cuts the rope, he falls into the water, emerges a new Batman, I believe. And it's just
that's pretty poetic.
So he goes, he gets the flare, and he helps these people to safety. He puts his hand out. The kid is the first one to trust him and come. Mm-hmm. People follow suit, and everyone starts viewing him as like a symbol of hope.
Yeah, you get that really good POV shot where he's with the flare, and then the group of people are following.
Really cool shot. And then once he gets them out, monologue starts again. Just like the movie started, we get an ending monologue of Batman just talking about
like the city is still flooded.
Yeah,
help is on the way.
Yeah, but in a parallel contrast, he says, I have made a difference here.
Yeah.
So
he's
very
people.
Cool. Yeah. And then there's a shot while he's having a monologue of a girl being put on a gurney to the helicopter, and she's like, she doesn't want him to go.
Yeah, she holds out for him, and he's just like, no, he doesn't say anything, but he just more so comforts her. And that's when he says, I have to become something else. I have to become a symbol of hope.
That's basically wraps up the Batman's thing. We're kind of left with, the Penguin at the Iceberg Lounge kind of doing his own thing, and we get kind of more of him in the show, obviously.
Yeah.
And then we get cut to the Riddler in prison, kind of crying and just like bitching about how his plan didn't work out. Then we get introduced to the Joker, of course. It's alluded that it's the Joker. We get a better view of him in a deleted scene.
Right.
And I think the Joker is fine. We're not going to touch on him too much. He's obviously not a important part of the story.
It's just like even in the Joker movie, Batman has to be in the Joker movie.
It has to, yeah.
Vice versa here. Joker happens to be in the Batman movie. Yeah. So, but it's not like in your face about it. It's just like, okay, well, he exists.
Yeah.
So that's fine. Selina and Batman say their goodbyes.
Yeah.
She's going to Bloodhaven, which is another like a sister city to Gotham City.
Yep.
They drive off. They say, "Oh, we can't do this," and it's just like it's basically them saying farewell to each other.
Yeah, she offers a hand of invitation of like, just come with me.
Right.
Like,
let's run away.
Yeah, this city's fucked regardless. It's gonna go down, and I don't want you to go down with it. Let's go do some good. Let's go do some bullshit together, right? He's basically like, no, I got a job here. Like, I'm here to do something. I'm gonna do it.
Now with that revelation of him needing to not be vengeance anymore, it's more of a reason for him to stay. They drift out. They go different ways.
She goes. I think he waits a second, and then he goes,
and he sees her in the rear view mirror, just going away on the hills and just fading into the mist.
And as soon as that happens, he kind of looks up, locks in, music kind of goes, and then cut.
Boom! Perfect ending.
Great ending.
That really good ending.
What do you think of this movie? You don't have to rank it necessarily with other Batman movies, but what does this do better for you than other Batman movies? And do you love this movie more than other Batman movies? How do you feel about it?
I think it's always going to be hard, right? A lot of fans. I love The Dark Knight. I even like The Dark Knight Rises. It's hard comparing both of them. But I really like this movie. This movie, I'm not buying into the fucking hype of people online saying, oh, he's a little feminine. All he does is complain. He's so grungy. And that's not appropriate, an appropriate description of Bruce Wayne. I'm not buying into that. I like how it's its own thing.
Yeah,
I like the score. I like the location. I like the supporting cast. I like the Batsuit in general.
I agree.
It's more bulky. You get the little like cowl here, pretty sick. I like the combat with it. I like the Batmobile. It's just really good. I'm surprised that it was that good.
Yeah,
and that sounds like a whole lot of glaze, but I really liked it. It's more so giving me hope for the future. I'm dying to see part 2. It sucks that it's been delayed. It really sucks. But if they, clock in, don't rush it, I'm okay with it to a degree. I obviously want it. I would want it, but I don't want it rushed.
I agree with everything that you've just said. I maybe have more glaze for it than you actually. I'm not sure. But for me, after seeing the Nolan trilogy, I've seen the Burton movies, I've seen the Schumacher movies, I've seen the Lego movie, I've seen bits and pieces of Adam West. This is my favorite Batman movie. I take it over The Dark Knight. That's my opinion.
I'm not going to shoot you for that one.
Thank you. Thank you. Now that's
a valid opinion to have.
I appreciate that, and I don't think that's not me downplaying The Dark Knight. I think The Dark Knight overall as a movie may be better. But as a Batman movie, I like this better. Matt Reeves understood what Batman needed in a new movie that wasn't too similar to the Nolan movie, because this movie is nothing like the Nolan movies.
You get more of a detective-esque. In the Nolan movies, you get little bits and pieces of it, but not to this extent. This is more like boots on the ground. Yeah. Him actually going to the crime scene, putting things together.
To like have a villain like the Riddler, which is not like a big name.
No, not a big name at all.
No. And to be such a good villain and like bounce off of Batman so well. I don't know. I'm very excited for the Batman Part 2, and I feel like with all this time, there's no way they fuck it up, right?
I hope not. I don't think so, but I mean,
you don't want to hype it up too much, because at the end of the day, it's a movie. And whatever direction and vision he has, he's gonna go. So I'm not gonna sit here and think it's gonna be something that it may not be. So whatever it is, we're gonna see from that first trailer. I'll judge the trailer. If the trailer looks good, I'm gonna assume the movie's good, because that's how it was for the first one.
That's usually how it goes.
Exactly. So I'm excited for the Batman Part 2. I think, the Batman, after revisiting it, I still have it as my favorite Batman movie that I've ever seen. And I think it could be topped with Batman Part 2. I really do think so. Because there is moments in this movie that may feel like they drag. It is a 3-hour movie.
Right.
I don't mind the detective work, but I would like something more psychological, challenging Bruce Wayne. And just kind of Batman. Hopefully they don't throw in Robin just for the sake of having Robin in the movie.
Yeah, then that's what the speculation is on. That's what the talk is on.
I've never liked Robin as a character, but hey, shoot me.
We just gotta see how it goes. Yeah. So with that being said, we could obviously touch on more things that we want for Part 2, but that, similar to the Batman Part 2, you're gonna have to wait for it.
Oh yeah,
we're gonna have to wait for it. But that's gonna conclude today's video on the revisiting the Batman. This is hopefully gonna be a new series, just the revisiting series. Seeing what we think about projects, media, whatever, and seeing how y'all respond to it. And if y'all have anything that you would want us to revisit, hey, you know the drill. Comment down below. Let us know.
Goodbye.
See ya.